Welcome to MuscleMania. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the fastest muscle cars from 1950s and 60s, so let's dive in. The 1958 Chevrolet Corvette. On its 4th birthday in 1958, Chevrolet offered the Corvette a little makeover. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of the changes leaned more toward cosmetics, but there were also some exciting upgrades underneath. The addition of aluminum reinforcements in the design helped to make the car both lighter and tougher. What's striking is that moving the bumpers to the frame led to reduce strain on the body. For racing fans, this was an important moment, since you could strip away certain added parts to make the car lighter, and no one would take notice. The result was a stylish machine that had that rough racing vibe that enthusiasts admire. Now, this one was groundbreaking. By the moment it was available, it had already disrupted the sports car market. This vehicle wasn't just for aesthetic appeal, it was designed to perform well under pressure. Regardless of whether you were taking sharp turns or accelerating on straight roads, the 56 Corvette demonstrated a lot of speed and control. In truth, it performed so well that people began to compare it to elite European cars such as the Jaguar or Triumph. General Motors had obviously put a statement forward with this car. They were developing sports cars that could compete equally with the best in the market. 1959 Ferrari 250 GT California Spyder. Just uttering the name of the Ferrari 250 GT California Spyder makes one feel like they're experiencing luxury. This automobile was entirely focused on detail and skill. If you ever took charge of the wheel, you would immediately see how smoothly the gear shifts operated. There's nothing else like it. At any RPM level, this Ferrari was reactive, making it a delight to navigate on twisting roads. Still, in spite of its lovely appearance and the renowned Ferrari Grand Prix heritage, it wasn't really a perfect road car. It seemed to fit better on a racetrack than it did on standard streets. It certainly had the reputation, but as a daily vehicle, it wasn't as useful. Even so, for anyone who cherishes the excitement of a racing heritage, this car was just incredible. So, do you think a car like this deserves a place in your garage? 1958 Chevrolet 315 Delray. The 1958 Chevrolet 315 Delray was an entirely different type of car. This was, in every way, a muscle car. The moment you fired up that 315 horsepower, 348 cubic inch V8, you didn't just hear it, you felt it. The thunderous roar wasn't just noise. It was a promise of power, the kind that echoed down the drag strips or cut through the winds of the Bonneville Salt Flats. Can you imagine the thrill? But it wasn't just about speed. Unlike the more rigid 57 Chevy, the Delray handled remarkably well for its size, gripping the road until you pushed it to its limit. It wasn't just a machine. It became a cultural symbol of freedom and rebellion. How many young drivers, parts racing, felt unstoppable behind the wheel of a car like this? The Delray indeed laid the groundwork for the muscle car revolution that would define the 60s. 1957 Porsche 1500 RS Spyder. The 1957 Porsche 1500 RS Spyder is actually a beast of a vehicle. On one side, it is remarkably strong and quick, making it one of the most successful competition sports cars in the history of the sport. Driving this vehicle felt much like managing a dual personality, nearly similar to the respectable Dr. Jekyll and his sinister counterpart, Mr. Hyde. At standard highway speeds, the Spyder acted gently, reacted well, and was remarkably simple to pilot. Still, once you took it to its limits, that's when the real difficulty began. Ken Miles, a celebrated racer, pointed out that to drive this car at its maximum speed demanded more than just talent. It required speedy reflexes and a degree of precision that only the best drivers were capable of. This wasn't a vehicle for the faint-hearted, but for those who could control it, it was a dream achieved. The 1957 Chevrolet Corvette Dual Quad. On the flip side, the 1957 Chevrolet Corvette C1 introduced raw American muscle to the roadways. The Corvette had a shaky beginning upon its 1953 launch, even though it appeared to be the part. Early sales and reviews were less than stellar. But Chevrolet didn't give up. They made the important improvements, and by 1957, the Corvette had become a serious contender, notably the dual quad model, which had two 4-barrel carburetors for extra power. More than just a sports car, this vehicle turned into a beacon of American engineering, raw power, and style. Over the years, The Corvette has developed a committed following, and at present, it's a classic. In actuality, one sold at auction for an incredible $825,000 in 2021, confirming that its legacy remains robust. 1957 Chevrolet Corvette, fuel-injected. The 1957 Corvette marked an important shift in the design of American automobiles. Not only did it feature a clean, sleek look, but it also introduced a game-changing innovation: fuel injection. The debut year of the Fuelie engine for Chevy was 1957, which featured a 283 cubic inch V8 that delivered 283 horsepower and reached the desirable 1 horsepower per cubic inch goal. The ramjet fuel injection system constituted a major improvement, eliminating the carburetor and delivering fuel straight to the cylinders. This resulted in superior fuel economy, an abundance of torque at slower speeds, and a quick reaction when you push the gas pedal. Not just a showpiece, the Corvette was a real performer, thanks to its top speed. The 1957 model is one of the most prominent and collectible Corvettes, a wonderful fusion of style and muscle. The 1964 Pontiac GTO. The concept behind this car was simple and brilliant. Insert the largest engine available into the lightest frame. That formula was a real success. The GTO is regularly credited with being one of the leaders of the muscle car era, which flourished in the 1960s and 70s. Bill Collins, Russell G., and the distinguished John DeLorean were the originators of the GTO. After General Motors imposed a ban on racing sponsored by the factory, these guys opted for a distinct approach to car design. Rather than paying attention to the track, they started looking at the streets. Borrowing from the Ferrari 250 GTO, DeLorean named their product the GTO, which means Gran Turismo Omologato, or a car designed to offer both high performance and comfort. Underneath the GTO, they fitted a 6.4-liter V8 engine that produced 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPM. Still, if that wasn't enough, buyers could choose the Tri-Power carburation system, which boosted power to an incredible 348 horsepower. The GTO became both quick and a fun ride, all thanks to this. And how fast was it? Back then, road tests showed that the 1964 GTO could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in only 6.6 seconds. It also ran the quarter mile in 14.8 seconds and reached a speed of 99 miles per hour by the end. These were notable numbers for their time, and they aided in the GTO's reputation as a street performance icon. The Chevrolet Chevelle SS 396 from 1967. While the Camaro may have later become Chevy's poster child for muscle cars, the Chevelle SS was actually the first to claim that title, marking Chevrolet's entry into the thrilling world of muscle cars when it was introduced in 1964. For a few years, the Chevelle SS had a modest presence, but it really made waves in 1970. That year, it stepped into the spotlight thanks to the introduction of the massive 454 cubic inch big block V8 engine. This powerhouse cranked out an impressive 450 horsepower and an astounding 500 pound-feet of torque. With that kind of muscle, the Chevelle could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6 seconds, a jaw-dropping feat for its time. The 1968 AMC Javelin. The Javelin stands out not just for its performance, but also for its distinctive design and history. It was produced in 2 generations, the original model from 1968 to 1970 and a restyled version from 1971 to 1974. Many enthusiasts still have a soft spot for the original styling, which captures that classic muscle car vibe. Designed by Richard Teague, the Javelin was built primarily in Wisconsin but also found its way to other countries, including Germany, Australia, Venezuela, and Mexico. What's interesting is that the Javelin was only available as a 2-door coupe, giving it a sporty, sleek look that muscle car fans love. Under the hood, the Javelin had several engine options. While some buyers opted for the entry-level straight-six engine, most went for the 4.8-liter, 290 cubic inch V8, which offered a solid boost in performance. For those looking for more power, the top option was the 390 cubic inch, 6.4-liter V8 with a 4-speed manual transmission. This beast delivered a robust 315 horsepower, allowing the Javelin to rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.6 seconds. With a top speed of 122 miles per hour, it was a thrilling ride for its time. The Pontiac Firebird 400 from 1968. Introduced just a year after its cousin, the Chevy Camaro, the Pontiac Firebird didn't just fit into the muscle car scene. It stood out, capturing hearts with its sleek, bold design. Those distinctive Coke, bottle-shaped rear fenders? They're still head-turners today. But it wasn't just about looks. The Firebird 400 brought serious muscle, packing a 400 cubic inch V8 that roared with 325 horsepower. And for thrill seekers, Pontiac offered the Ram Air upgrade, an option that gave the engine a bit more bite, though its $600 price tag kept it exclusive. This car wasn't just about speed. Although performance-wise, the Firebird 400 blazed through the quarter-mile in 14.7 seconds and hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.2 seconds. So, what do you think? Was it the Firebird or the Pontiac GTO that truly sparked the muscle car revolution? Let us know in the comments below. 1958 Ferrari 250 GT Europa. Already known for developing some of the top sports cars worldwide, Ferrari did not disappoint with the 250 GT. The difference with this car was its ability to merge raw power and a hint of sophistication. You would expect a loud engine from a Ferrari, but the 250 GT, surprisingly, was quiet when it came to life, proof of the brand's commitment to improving the driving experience while maintaining performance. It featured great low-speed power, but pushing the pedal to the metal would propel you back in your seat and get you to 120 miles per hour in mere 24 seconds. The balance of street drivability and race speed turned the 250 GT Europa into a truly remarkable vehicle. The 1968 Chevrolet Corvette. Now, this was more than just a muscle car. It was an American dream on wheels. The 1968 Corvette, with its sleek two-seater design, wasn't just about power but also style, capturing the spirit of freedom and rebellion that defined the 60s. Can you imagine cruising down the highway, the wind in your hair, with 300 horsepower roaring beneath you? This beauty had a retractable hardtop, a rust-proof fiberglass body, and the heart of a beast. Its turbo-fire 327 V8 engine wasn't just fast, it was a statement. But what made the Corvette so iconic wasn't just the numbers. It was the symbol of American innovation and independence. It shaped the culture of the muscle car era, blending elegance with raw power. What other car could offer that perfect balance of road and racetrack prowess, while inspiring a generation to chase the open road? The 1968 Dodge Charger RT. This car has been able to sustain its market, and still to this date, people enjoy it as much as they did when it was first introduced to the market over 4 decades ago. Of course, the Fast and Furious movies, with Vin Diesel's character behind the wheel, helped to solidify its place in pop culture, but even without the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, the Charger RT is no slouch. What was so special about the 1968 Charger RT? First of all, what can we say about the design of the car? It was stunning. It had this muscle car-like body with curves that were just screaming power. The hidden headlight grille was established as one of the car's iconic features, creating a rather sinister and menacing front end. A more streamlined, elegant tail and liberal use of chrome only served to enhance the car's aesthetic and performance. Under the hood, this beast was not to be messed with, and it showed. The base powertrain was a 440 cubic inch Magnum V8 engine that produced a decent 375 horsepower. However, if you wanted even more muscle, Dodge had an option for the 426 Hemi engine, which took the power to 425 horsepower. This engine was considered one of the best, strong, noisy, and designed to rule the highway. The 1969 Ford Mustang 428 Cobra Jet. The 1969 Ford Mustang 428 Cobra Jet is considered as one of the most powerful horses on the road today. Over the years, Ford has developed some incredible Mustangs, but the 428 Cobra Jet is special for its power. This Mustang was built to go head-to-head with the big block Firebirds and Camaros of its time, and it didn't mess around. The interior was also more luxurious than the standard Mustang, and under the hood was a 428 cubic inch V8 engine with larger valve heads. This design enhanced the airflow and performance of the car. It also had a ram air induction system and a functional hood scoop that not only gave it a sleek look but also improved the engine performance. This car had an output of nearly 410 horsepower, and it was more than willing to bark. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Okay, let's move to the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, a car that can be credited to the mind of drag racer Dick Harrell. This model was all about drag racing performance and came equipped with a massive 427 cubic inch big block V8 engine, known as the ZL1. This monster produced 500 horsepower, and with it the Camaro ZL1 could accelerate to 60 miles per hour in just 5.3 seconds, a remarkable achievement at the time. However, the most exciting factor about the ZL1 is how hard to find it is. Out of this model, only 69 units were manufactured, and that makes it one of the rarest and most sought-after American muscle cars of the time. It is not just any car. It is a classic automobile that people pay a lot of money to own. The 1968 Plymouth Road Runner Hemi. This muscle car came with a very simple solution to power. The standard model came with a 383 cubic inch, 4-barrel V8 engine that produced a decent 335 horsepower. But if you wanted even more thrill, the car could be fitted with the 426 cubic inch Hemi engine, which delivered 425 horsepower. That is why Roadrunner was so attractive, as it offered a simple, straightforward service. Plymouth was more concerned with providing raw performance than being concerned with body styling. This was something that would be appealing to the muscle car crowd who just wanted a big, powerful car to drive down the road. The Roadrunner also had a fun personality with a distinctive beep-beep horn that made it even more enjoyable. The 1963 Shelby Cobra 260. This beauty is the original creation of Carroll Shelby, combining the lightweight charm of the British AC Ace with the raw power of an American V8. The result? A car that not only looked stunning but was also a beast on the track, ready to take on competitors like the Corvette and even Ferraris. AC and Ford teamed up for this project, with AC providing the body and Ford supplying the engine and gearbox. When the first Cobra hit the road, it wowed drivers, clocking a remarkable 0 to 60 miles per hour time of just 4.2 seconds. This car quickly captured the public's imagination and cemented its status as an icon. Take CSX 2047, for example. It was one of the first 62 Cobras produced and was sold to a dealer in California. You can imagine the attention it got on the roads. In 1968, a fighter pilot named Lieutenant Kit Coyle bought it. He drove it daily for 5 years, even giving it a fresh coat of British racing green before selling it in 1973. Then there's Bob Shiro, a car dealer who saw the Cobra's potential as a collectible. He acquired CSX 2047 and took great care of it, maintaining it for decades. After his passing in 2019, it was finally sold to a new owner in Northern California. The 1967 Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake. For car lovers, the Shelby Cobra is a name that evokes speed, power, and legacy. But the 1967 Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake? That was something else entirely. A true legend on wheels, crafted by none other than Carroll Shelby himself. His mission? To build the most powerful, untamable car the road had ever seen. And he succeeded, spectacularly. The Super Snake wasn't just a Cobra with some extra flair. No, it was a fire-breathing race car disguised as a street machine. Only 2 were ever made, which makes it one of the rarest muscle cars to ever roll out of the factory. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to sit behind the wheel of a car so rare, so powerful, that it could outrun almost anything? Powered by a massive 427 cubic inch V8, Shelby didn't stop there. He added not 1, but 2 Paxton superchargers. With 800 horsepower under the hood, it was dubbed the Cobra to end all Cobras. The Super Snake was more than a car. It became a symbol of excess, daring, and the American dream of pushing limits. Can you imagine controlling that kind of raw power on an open road? It's no wonder it's still revered today. Now, which of these classic muscle cars would you love to take for a spin? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys soon.